Hi everyone, it's Lana here from Lana Fitness and Nutrition, and I am joined by Nikki. Hi Nikki.
Hi, Lana.
So, Nikki has come to the end of working with me for 12 weeks, and we have just had a good reflection on her journey and thought it would be brilliant to share. So, 12 weeks ago, Nikki came to me. She had tried lots of different diets before Slimming World, the Cambridge. No, you had done 5-2, sorry, you'd done Noom, cutting carbs, different things like that. And you were feeling really like, not so much hung up on the scales, but you mentioned like a bit of a spare tire around the middle. You were feeling like you didn't know, what to do next, and nothing had really been working. There was no accountability. The food side of things was maybe a little bit confusing, and you wanted to make a long-term change, but you didn't know how. So fast forward 12 weeks, you're down a stone, you're down a dress size, you're like 4 or 5 inches off of your waist, which is amazing. So within our 3 months together, you've achieved everything that you wanted to, and feel like now you've got a plan of action going forward. So how were you feeling 12 weeks ago when we first had that conversation?
12 weeks ago, I was pretty low. I think I just didn't know what to do anymore. I couldn't find a solution, find a way forward. I was fed up with the how I felt sort of podgy and stodgy, and I just felt like I'm just going to become one of these women who's just going to get larger and larger as she gets older and older, and there wasn't going to be much that I could do about it, really.
Yeah. Okay. So you were feeling a bit like hope had kind of gone. And
Yeah,
we were just saying as well that you had been to Slimming World for like 2 or 3 rounds now, and you
yeah,
sat with the women, and it was dawning on you that actually this doesn't work.
work, absolutely. It just didn't work at all. And it was sort of realizing that every time I went back, you got less and less of a result, and it got harder and harder to find.
Yeah.
And you couldn't work it out because I'd been brainwashed that low fat was the way forward, that was the only way in the world I was going to lose weight, was to be on a low fat diet.
Yeah. And now you're eating at least 50 grams of fat a day. You have full fat and
Yeah,
you're feeling better than ever.
yeah, and it tastes so much better. Full fat tastes so much better.
Definitely does. So, what do you feel about this program has really changed that and revolutionized it for you?
um it's it's just completely revolutionized the whole thing and made me think about what I'm actually eating. And I think, one of the things, for example, was I was a complete bread freak.
Mm.
um the stodgier the better. Now I'm actually somebody who, I either buy sourdough or I make my own.
Yeah.
um because it just kind of clicked that sourdough has none of that rubbish in it that
Yeah.
commercial bread has. And and just it's clicked about low fat and what's in low fat compared to what's in full fat, and how much more satiated you feel on full
Yeah.
fat,
Yeah.
so that you've not eaten a load of low fat stuff, and then you're hungry a couple of
Yeah.
hours later.
Yeah, and
So
you've been set up for cravings, haven't you? By having
yeah,
low fat and the extra sugar that's in it, you then want things like bread and carbs and stuff to fill a void that should never have been taken away in the first place.
yeah, and I know at the outset I said to you, Lana, that I have a bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I still like chocolate, I still like sweet things, but I don't get that thing. What my kind of witching hour would be in the afternoon, and
Yeah.
I just suddenly get a desire to go and eat chocolate. And as my husband said, if he bought me a box of chocolates, there was no have one or two and it goes back in the cupboard. I'd
Yeah.
just gorge till the whole lot was gone. Well, I just don't get that same desire anymore.
No. And we were saying just before we sort of started recording this that it's been remarkably easy to make these changes because you've come at this from a place of working with your body, not against it, you know?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
with like Slimming World and the stuff that you've done before, it's all these like weird and wonderful different things that you have to try, and it's like, get your body to get results. Whereas actually what I focus on is just coming home to like normal, natural, healthy eating that supports you as a woman. You're 51 years old, get your hormones functioning as they should, and
Yeah.
with your body, not against it, which you've probably been doing for like 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And and I was someone who, I didn't drink a lot of alcohol anyway. I We're not a household that eat a lot of takeaways, because I quite like cooking in the evening after work. It's my kind of off time and down time to chill out and switch my brain off. So it makes perfect sense now that there was just something fundamentally wrong with what I was doing before. Because everybody says, oh, you get fat because you eat lots of takeaways and this, that and the other, but it's not. I didn't, and I wasn't losing weight, so there had to be something that was fundamentally wrong before.
Yeah, because I remember we went through, when you joined, obviously we went through all of your food, and you were having yogurt, honey and granola for breakfast, maybe some bread and marmalade. You were having curries, spag bowls, homemade chilies, sausages for dinner. You'd snack on maybe some chocolate biscuits, cheese, that kind of thing. But fundamentally, a lot of trainers and coaches out there would have looked at your food and gone, I don't really know what to suggest now, because you were already doing the whole low fat thing, you had done the low calorie thing, you had done this, done that, but actually it was just a few very small tweaks and changes.
Absolutely.
That have now seen you through an entire 12 weeks, losing a stone and a dress size and feeling so much better.
Yeah, and as I said to you before, Lana, when I did Noom, I was tracking food, but no one was really giving me the tools to understand what the tracking of my food meant and how I needed to tweak it to get it to work.
Yeah.
So I remember the coach sending me a message saying, oh, you should try and eat more calories. Well, it's not just calories, is it? It's kind of food you're eating that gives you those calories, like protein, like full fat. So that's the skill and the expertise you need.
Yeah, definitely. I think before you had gotten a very overview part of information, but then no idea on how to execute it and what to actually look at. So it's really been all of the knowledge and the mindset and the coaching side of things that's brought it all together, that's made it go, oh yeah, no, actually this does get to be easy. This gets to be very simple, actually, when you look at it and you know the information. Knowledge is power, and you just didn't have the knowledge before, and you do now.
Yeah, absolutely. The old light bulb is on.
Yay! So would you have any advice for anyone that's maybe sat on the fence, if they're thinking, no, this will just be the same as something else I've tried, they'll promise results, I won't get it?
Yeah, I would. I'd say get on with it. Sign up with Lana and do it, because I probably stalked you, I reckon, because I came across you on Facebook. I'd probably stalked you for a good 9 months, umming and ahhing, thinking, should I give this a go or shouldn't I? And I got to the point where I thought, well, either obviously all these people who are coming on here are either blatantly telling fibs, or it really must work. So then I just thought, do you know what? And I know, and I ummed and ahed a bit and was like, oh, it seems quite a bit of an outlay, but you are absolutely right. And at the end of the day, my mindset now is, well, why shouldn't I be doing it and making myself a priority to sort this out? Because women in particular, we all do different roles, but often we do more than one role. Whereas men in the world, they tend to go to work and they come home, and more often than not, there's somebody there to look after them. So many other roles fall on women. One of my friends says, she said, you do a really tough job. You do a really tough job. She said, but it's still you at the end of the day who's thinking about what the household is going to feed on that evening, and who's going to be putting what washing in the washing machine. And when you've got all of those juggling priorities, it's very easy to forget that actually every now and then you should make yourself priority. And that's what I did. I made myself priority.
Yes. And then look what happened, and you have to go all in when you're going to make yourself a priority. The other diets that we've mentioned is just not enough of a lifestyle change to bump you up the priority list. It's a very half-assed attempt, at being like, oh, I suppose I'll try and do something, and then sort of falling off the wayside with it. But you're right, women, we do have a lot of roles and a lot of responsibilities, a lot of expectations put on us by other people and by society, and we do tend to fall to the bottom of the pile. And actually, as women, we're usually mothers, whether it's like mothering our other half or our
Yeah,
children or our
absolutely.
animals, people at work, everything. If we aren't on point and on, you know, feeling 100% in ourselves, that will always radiate out into the rest of our lives. So, you know, by making yourself a priority, by investing in yourself, you then will have had an impact on throughout that as well. And, you know, well done for like making that decision. And even if it took 9 months of stalking me, incredible, because you're here now. And you, I think a lot of people do that, silent stalkers.
It sounds a bit freaky, especially in my line of work, but yeah, but it is, but it's it's getting yourself to the point where you actually it begins to click a bit that maybe
Yeah.
it is time that you've got to step
Yeah.
forward into something. And also it's that thing as well, because you know, your menfolk around you, men have a different metabolism, they work differently. My husband can drink beer and eat all sorts of stuff and never put weight on. And he sort of said to me, "Oh, that's not low fat," when he's seen what I've been eating on while I've been on the program with you. And I'm like, yeah, but that's because no fat doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why I need to eat this. And also it's the thing, as I said to you before, you know, I'm now post-menopause. As you get older and get post-menopause, you start losing muscle and tone and all of that sort of stuff. So you've got to have the right fuel on board. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So it's fantastic. So don't hesitate. Sign up, do it.
Oh, well, thank you so much and well done. You've had an incredible journey. I feel honoured to have been a part of it. You've been an amazing client to work with and you are 100%. Now you've reached your goal, you're going to be able to maintain that. You've got all of the knowledge, all of the expertise, everything to be able to continue that. So I've got full faith in you.
Good. Thank you, Lorna. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
This works. I promise. Try it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Nikki, for sharing your journey. And please just reach out if anyone watching this and you're like, okay, finally, I'm just going to take the leap. I'm going to message. Let's just have a chat. Like, you know, no obligation. We'll just hop on a call. We'll just have a chat about it and see if you're a good fit for the program, what you think about it and go from there. So thank you, Nikki, for sharing your journey.
No problem.